salmon reproduce in fresh water, and the young fish spend anywhere from a few months to a few years in fresh water, and then they go out to the ocean. And that ocean phase can last several years. This is the least understood part of the life cycle, and one that we think is really becoming more and more important as the ocean is changing. The idea behind the survey is trying to understand salmon on the high seas. We will be studying all species of Pacific salmon: Chinook, coho, sockeye, chum, and pink salmon. And so it's really trying to understand, what are they eating? Who are their predators? Who are their competitors? How much food is available for them? The idea is to send ships out to sample at the same time using essentially the same gear, identical methodologies. And it will be really amazing to look at such a large part of the ocean at once. The ship is leaving Newport on January 30th. We don't get back until March 7th. So it's almost 40 days that the ship will be out. I'm one of 2 members of the scientific party who will be on that long. We're going to be sampling at specific stations that are 60 nautical miles apart. First thing is we'll do what's called a CTD cast. So CTD stands for conductivity, temperature, depth, and it's a big meter that measures all kinds of physical oceanography properties. The second thing we'll do is a zooplankton tow. And then the third thing we'll do is fish. So we have this large trawl, and this will catch pretty much any fish and invertebrates that are up at the surface. What is really cool about this survey is that we're going to be using genetics to tell where these fish come from. This really revolutionizes our understanding of what is going on out in the ocean, because not only are they sockeye salmon, but we know, is that a Bristol Bay sockeye salmon? Is that a Columbia River sockeye salmon? One of our primary objectives is trying to understand what's going on and using what we're learning out there to help managers predict how many salmon are going to come back. Another way we're using this data is just to understand where these salmon are out in the ocean. And we can look and see what temperatures and what salinities are they in, what types of water do they like. And then in the future, if we get another blob or a marine heat wave, we can say this stock of fish is probably being impacted. Most salmon that go to the ocean do not return. Most of that mortality occurs when they first enter the ocean, but we're seeing more and more where there's clearly been mortality later. If you're seeing a really dramatic drop in numbers or even an increase, why did this happen? And how much of it is related to human activities versus just natural variation? The data we'll be collecting is really important to understand what's going on. The reason people are concerned about salmon are there's many populations in the Pacific Northwest listed under the Endangered Species Act, and we're trying to recover them. It's economic livelihoods. There's an enormous number of people who fish for a living. There's subsistence fishing by tribes in the US and First Nations in Canada. Salmon are really important to most tribes and First Nations around the Pacific Rim. They've been fishing salmon for thousands of years. The fact that these returns are becoming less predictable and in general declining really impairs their ability to continue these traditions. It's really important that we make this study real and valuable to the people who are trying to manage and have sustainable fisheries for future generations. The realization that this effort that we've been planning for the last 2 years, that it's actually happening, to be part of something that's so large and really fundamentally change our understanding, our view of salmon in the ocean, is really, really exciting, and I'm thrilled.